Recently, we did a poll on social media to ask students how they feel on Monday morning. And the responses that we got were, we feel stressed, we feel anxious, and we feel sad. And I think the reason for that is we've become so busy that we wake up, we go, we run all day, we crash, and we repeat the next day. And because most of you don't feel that bad, you kind of just assume that everything you're doing is okay. But when was the last time you stopped to ask yourself, am I really healthy?
Show that my generation, our generation, is the first to have a shorter life expectancy than that of our parents, which is really, really scary. But the caveat to that is that most of the things that are causing this to happen are things that can be controlled by our choice. So to remedy this, I definitely talk about having this mentality of choice and taking ownership of your health and wellness and finding things that work for you. And to do this, you don't have to be some person that goes to the gym every day that eats this super, super strict diet. That's not what that looks like. You have to find what that looks like for you.
I think one thing you need to ask yourself is, are you taking a reactive or proactive approach when it comes to your health? When I was in high school, I took a reactive approach. I played sports, I practiced after school almost every day, so I felt like I could eat whatever I wanted, and it never really affected me. I never got 8 hours of sleep, and I never really cared. I stayed up almost every night playing video games and drinking energy drinks, and honestly, I never developed healthy coping mechanisms when it came to dealing with stress or anxiety. And I know a lot of you guys, you probably feel the same way. You think you're invincible. You think the things that you're doing today are never really going to affect you. I truly look back at high school and I think one of my biggest regrets is I never learned healthy habits when I was young, and it's made it a lot harder for me the older that I've gotten. I think it's crucial that you learn what it means to be healthy in high school, so those habits that you develop, you can carry with you throughout the rest of your life. And I think one reason that so many of us struggle with what it means to be healthy is because we're constantly comparing ourselves to other people.
So I think the first one is that health and fitness, that the person who has health and fitness figured out is going to look like it physically. You're going to see them walking around with their blender bottles and their really crazy salads, and their really intense gym routines. And that's not that's one of the biggest misconceptions, and that's not it. Yeah, that's going to work for some people, and that's what it's going to look like on some people. But for the majority of us, that's not what it looks like. The majority of us, to achieve this sustainable standard of health and wellness for ourselves, are just going to have to step back and say, all right, that's not me, but that is okay, because my routine is going to be going to yoga once a week, going to get myself a smoothie instead of a milkshake once or twice a week, making just small conscious efforts like that instead of being this walking model of health and wellness.
Health and wellness, it looks different for all of us. And I think one of the biggest things that we all struggle with is comparing ourselves to other people. But I think it's crucial that you define what healthy means to you. I think it's important to ask yourself, if you do the same thing for the next 10 years, will you be more healthy or less healthy than you are today? Because for a lot of you, there's no longevity to the lifestyle that you're leading. A lot of you guys show up to school tired. A lot of you guys eat because you're hungry, not because you want to put fuel in your body. A lot of you don't even know what it means to deal with stress or anxiety. I think for most of us, if we play out what we're doing today, we're going to be far less healthy in 10 years than we are now. When you're successful in one area of your life, it starts to carry over into other areas. I honestly believe that discipline breeds discipline. I think there are 3 things you have to keep in mind when it comes to your health and wellness. I think the first thing is evaluate yourself. Figure out areas where you can improve. Maybe you need to eat better. Maybe you need to get more sleep. The second thing I think you need to keep in mind is you don't have to do this alone. Find a friend, create a plan together, and then hold each other accountable. And the third thing is you've got to focus on the things that you can do, not the things that you can't. Maybe you don't have access to a gym, so you've got to work out at home. Maybe you can't run a mile, so you can walk a mile. Maybe you don't even know what it means to eat healthy, so you've got to take some time to research and figure out what a healthy diet looks like. So many of us are just reactive when it comes to health and wellness, but I truly believe that if we're going to make a difference in our lives, we've got to take a proactive approach. So no matter where you're at in life, maybe you feel like you've got a lot of work to do, or maybe you feel like you're incredibly healthy and you just need to change a few things. Changing habits, it takes time. What I want you guys to understand is don't wait. Don't wait until you feel unhealthy. Don't wait until you look out of shape. Don't wait until something's broken to fix it. I think it's important that you learn to develop healthy habits now so you can continue to grow on those throughout the course of your life. I honestly believe we'd all be so much better off if we just started asking ourselves, am I truly healthy? That's all I got.